Hello and welcome to the best mods for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. We're going to be covering all the best mods as so many mods are getting released. So if you're keen to stay up to date with all the latest and greatest mods, mod news, or anything Kingdom Come Deliverance, come along for the journey as we explore all the best mods. Let's go. So starting off with two amazing mods. First one being the more responsive targeting. This is a very welcomed addition that was actually a mod from KCD 1, which was superb. Now it has been integrated into KCD 2 and it's even better. This is the smoothest combat has ever felt, as mod aims to refine and smooth out the combat targeting system by loosening the game's default lock-on mechanism. Now this won't be for everyone, but this is one of the best mods when it comes to targeting. It's particularly useful for players who find that the original system too rigid or restrictive when facing multiple enemies. So the key features and improvement: less restrictive camera control. The player's view isn't forcefully locked onto a target unless they are actively attacking, being grabbed, or clinching. It has extended lock-in on range, allows for easier manually targeting even from a distance. It almost introduces a free look during combat. The camera remains much more fluid, making it easier to maneuver in fights without auto-locking, forcing your perspective. The mod keeps all key mechanics like perfect blocking and respite intact while allowing for a more flexible combat. What I'm trying to illustrate in the footage is that you can easily move your mouse from one side of the screen to the other, and it's going to lock on to those NPCs, but as you move your mouse away, it's going to unlock. It is a super clean, responsive. Could be difficult if you have very high sensitivity, but perhaps if you're using a controller, it's going to be super silky smooth, as combat's just generally much easier on controllers. But this is such a welcome addition to the targeting system within KCD 2, must-have mod in my mind, particularly good for players who are struggling with the vanilla targeting system, perfect for multiple engagements at the same time. And this mod flows on to the next mod we're covering, which I don't believe we have, which is a bit of a shame, but it's called Better Combat. So Better Combat is going to work very nicely and complementary with the targeting mod we just covered. But the Better Combat mod aimed at increasing the difficulty and realism of combat by tweaking AI behavior and adjusting combat mechanics. The key features and changes: more aggressive AI. Enemies attack more frequent and switch attack zones more often. Faster enemy reactions. AI is quicker to respond in clinches. Higher AI dodge probability. This is an optional. Makes AI more evasive, but keeps perfect block, master strike, the primary defense mechanics. There's a version to reduce combat advantage for the player. It's going to halve the perfect block and master strike window. Requires much more precise and better timing. Equalized player armor. The player's base armor is now the same as NPCs. Lower damage scaling. Player skill bonuses contribute less to the overall damage. Reduce melee weapon damage, a minus 40%. Extends the durations of fight, emphasizing skill over damage output. So if you're finding combat lacking, definitely check out the more responsive targeting and Better Combat mod. These will significantly increase the combat challenge by making fights way more skill-based rather than stat-driven. The optional tweaks allow players to fine-tune difficulty based on their preference. Highly recommended for players seeking a tougher, more rewarding combat experience. The Enhanced Entertainment Pack for Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is another excellent visual enhancement mod that upgrades the textures of various entertainment-related objects, making the game's social and immersive aspects more visually appealing. Key features are upgraded textures for entertainment items, custom-painted dice with more visible numbers, musical instruments such as the flute, hunting horn, and tambourine have been enhanced. Dice tables and coins for gambling, flower weaves and shop/tavern signs, improved wooden sword textures, and training and play combat equipment. These all now have upgraded textures, having much better clarity and readability. Checkers always has the balanced and 2x version, giving you a couple different options depending on your PC. But this is another great immersion mod for players who enjoy minigames like dice and gambling or hang out at the taverns a lot. This is a perfect mod. Sorted Inventory Lite is a user interface enhancement designed to improve the inventory organization without using prefixes. This one preserves items' names as closely as possible while making subtle adjustments for easier navigation. The main features is improved categorization of all items for better sorting, no prefixes, ensuring a more natural item list. Titles are case sensitive for consistent formatting, minimal impacts on immersion, keeping names lore friendly. It's a PTF, but overall just a very simple and excellent way to manage all your items, particularly when items are named very similarly, and great for players who want better inventory management. The Outer Garments PTF mod expands the game's armor and clothing system by introducing outer layer garments, including gambesons, paw points, and chieftains, which were previously exclusive to NPCs. The mod enhances the fashion, the variety of customizable options for players, making it an excellent choice to expand your wardrobe. Cool thing about this mod is that it comes with the outer gambesons, which you can put on top of armor. You also have the option of the inner, but there are a lot of different options. Padded defensive garments with various designs. The paw points, a more refined, noble looking tunic. Then the chieftains, a long, stylish coat commonly worn in the colder regions. It includes a lot of recolored versions of existing items, making armor sets feel more unique and dynamic. It has renamed some of the items for easier browsing within the inventory. Can be purchased from the armorer located in the northeast of Gutenberg's Fountain. Sells both tier 3 and tier 4 quality versions, or you can just use cheat codes to spawn them in. But this is perfect for players who want more visual variety in their armor and clothing while maintaining historical realism. Lots of choices. It's nice to have the option of the inner and outer, so you can be fully armored up, but do it in style. Fantastic mod. The Jupon Megapack is an armor customization mod that adds 70 new Jupons, aka surcoats, varieties into the game. It includes various color schemes, decorations, different patterns to diversify the knightly attire. Includes hand and Seradzig's Jupons in multiple different colors, purchasable in the shops in Gutenberg, and should no longer conflict with character component XML mods, but perfect for knights and noble characters who want a more diverse wardrobe, but an excellent clothing mod. Some people are going to love this mod. It's called the Helmet of Dialog. The mod will automatically unequip your helmet and coif when entering a conversation with an NPC, then re-equip them straight after. Very simple, but with the auto unequip and re-equip of helmets during dialogue, now you can always see Henry's face, particularly handy when you have those crazy looking helmets when you can only see your eyes. There is an optional random version where it'll randomly remove the helmet and at times keep it on. Adds for more of a natural variety. However, do note, removing a helmet may lower your charisma as the helmet contributes to that stat. The author considers this an acceptable trade-off for immersion. I'm sure down the track we can get one that won't have that kind of impact if you want it. Should work with 90% of the helmet types. Does not affect hats or other headgear. So just helmets. Perfect for players that just want to see Henry, full head and face during all the cutscenes. Now, it was only a matter of time before we saw a mod like this. The lightsaber from Star Wars is a fun, law-breaking weapon mod that introduces 5 different colored lightsabers into the medieval world of KCD2. Do note I only tested 3 because I think that was all that was available at the time, but it is being updated. So we have the red lightsaber, high stab damage. It comes with a 15 strength requirement and a 12 agility requirement. The blue lightsaber, great slash damage, 12 strength, 15 agility required. Green lightsaber, balanced damage output, 14 strength, 14 agility required, and so on and so forth. Damage stats are comparable to the sword Sir Valentine, making these weapons very strong. Unlocks automatically after completing the blacksmith tutorial. There is an overpowered version of the mod as well. If you want to go slicing people with no worries, can spawn them in using console commands. But this is a hilarious and fun mod for Star Wars fans. It would be cool if we could add the sound in. At the moment, there are no sounds, but the weapons themselves are very nicely detailed. Don't think they're 4K textures, maybe 2, but excellent amount of detail and glow from the weapons. Great mod for a bit of fun and casual play. This next mod is going to be worth following, particularly once this mod kit comes out. Expect this mod or similar mods to be a bit of a cornerstone to making the world feel much more immersive and alive. This is called the Factions Authority mod. This is a world building and gameplay enhancement that adds more guards and factions presence across roads, villages, and settlements. The mod will make the world feel more militarized, reinforcing the tension of civil war and political unrest. The key features are guards appear across roads, villages, mills, and isolated hamlets, making the world feel much more dangerous and alive. It does increase faction diversity among each guard, making patrols more region specific. Guards will now appear regardless of your reputation. Unlike the vanilla where they spawn only if you have a very negative reputation, all guards are equipped like proper militants, reflecting their faction status and influence. The mod will have impact in the Trotsky region and Gutenberg region. This is a really good mod and I highly recommend adding this to the immersive faction properties, which is going to change all the loadouts for all the various guards, but this will add a ton more guards. Now you may get some funny things happening and this will be fixed with the mod kit, I'm sure. Sometimes when they spawn in, they will all spawn just standing still. If you save and reload, generally that will fix and they'll start walking around again. Some of them will remain just in their spot, standing still. A little bit buggy. Early days for such a huge mod. A lot of work would have gone into this as it's very tricky to do this without the mod tools. However, the result of this is towns will be packed with more guards. The roads could have a swash of guards and military men walking across. I'm really hoping this is going to expand to almost like a stalker level where you'll come across little skirmishes of different factions fighting each other. Doesn't have to be historical. I'm not too fussed about that, but it would be cool to come across those kind of battles.